Hey everybody, this is Spencer. I'm here today to show you the Synik 26, which was furnished to me by Bihn in exchange for my honest review. So here it is. First things first, I've got to talk about the material and the color, which is very new to me. I know that it is not new to Bihn, but this is X-Pack, and this is X-Pack in a color that they call Sun Glow. Now, I'm gonna tell you as soon as I took it out of the box, I was not in a super well lit room, but it wasn't a dark room either. And it is definitely, I know that the yellow looks really good on camera right now. I can see my camera and it looks really nice. It's more of a mustard yellow in most light, is what I found. So that I find to be something that you should just know. It's not as bright as it kind of pops it to be, but it is still a very nice color. The material itself, X-Pack, again, I'm also kind of mixing in my opinions on X-Pack in this video as well. X-Pack is a very crinkly, kind of nice material. It's smooth, kind of like Black Halcyon, which is, of course, the bag that I came from. This is Black Halcyon, and it kind of has a similar feel, not as rough. And, of course, it's got these trademark X's, which I'm not honestly sure. I'm assuming that is probably a ripstop feature or strength, but I did notice right away, as soon as I opened this up, got these cool X patterns here. So I thought that looked pretty neat. The interior of this bag is Cerulean. I think I'm saying that right. This is Sangria, I believe, and it is a really, really cool red. I really enjoy. I actually have one of these in a travel tray when they first came out with this material years ago, and I do like this material a lot, and I like this color combination a lot. I think it looks really nice. Onto the bag itself, it's a pretty standard Synik, as you know, as you already know about. So the big difference is, of course, it is in between the 22 and the 30. The 30 being a bag that is pretty big for anything that does not have to do with travel, and the 22 being more like the Synapse 19 kind of size. Synapse 19 and 25 have been around for years. Then they introduced the 22 and the 30, and they're finally bringing us sort of a middle bag. And I think it does a really good job kind of being the best of both extremes, which I will show you. But I'm going to open by talking about the Synapse. I'm going to talk about the Synapse first because, well, somebody asked me to show it, and I think it is the most Synapse-like bag, the Synapse 25, the bag that I feel like Bihn is most notably known for. And this, of course, is a beautiful Black Halcyon with ultraviolet, something that they simply just don't make anymore, and it is just an awesome color combination. I wish Black Halcyon was still around. But we won't get into that. But you can see the construction, the makeup of the bag. This is one of the older versions with the non-edgeless straps. Are very similar. And you can see that if you kind of put them on top of each other, you see they're pretty well equal. So the difference in liters between this is 1 liter. Where does that 1 liter go? I don't necessarily know. I'm not too much of an overpack rat unless I'm one bag traveling, which is rare these days. So, talking about a little bit about the side pockets, you can see that the side pockets are, well, you know, it's a Synapse clone essentially, with just a few extra features. So there's not going to be much in the way of surprises. It's going to be about the same here. It's going to be about the same here as it is here. About my hand width apart. Let's go ahead and measure the depth. About 6 inches. This one is, it's got stuff in there. Oh, also about 6 inches. Sorry, I'm a tag pack rat, as you can tell. It's also got the water bottle pocket, something that the Synapse has always been known and lauded for. This water bottle pocket in here, and I don't know if the depth is much different, about 10.5 inches. And let's see, well, what else should we measure? The bag itself is about, I'd say, roughly 14 inches across, and with this kind of part flattened down, it's about 19 to 20 inches across here. I know these measurements are probably available on the website, but it's a little different when you're looking at the bag like this, doesn't it? So this bottom pocket, as we've already kind of looked at, is very similar to the Synapse in that it's nice and cavernous. I've always put my handy little thing, or before that my snake charmer, and there's always room I could even put, I usually put my my spiff kit in here as well. And this one seems to have about as much, maybe a little less in fact. I think they probably borrowed from this pocket, which is absolutely massive on the 30. I think they borrowed from this pocket in order to make the rest of it bigger. But my spiff kit could definitely fit in there just fine if we wanted it to. Definitely not as cavernous as this, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. I've also been known to try to throw my handy little thing if I'm using the size 1. I believe this is the size 2. I think that the size 2 is the smaller, right? I believe I can fit that in here. I used to fit my snake charmer in here, and sometimes my spiff kit in there on my Synapse as well. But let's talk about the kind of the main construction, right? Got ourselves the Synapse, and it's pretty standard. Cache loops here. I believe I've heard that caches aren't even available to buy on the website anymore. I'm not sure if that's true or not, or at least some aren't. And then, of course, this pocket here. Well, let's go ahead and put this one down the floor and talk about kind of the main attraction, as you will, of the Synik. The Synik's major enhancements being, of course, the edgeless straps, which most people like. I like them on certain bags. I actually prefer the normal straps on a Synapse-like bag, but I'll take these. These are very nice. I've carried this bag already a few times, and they're very comfortable. The trademark kind of side pocket for laptops, the laptop sleeve. So I'm putting this in here very deliberately because I got it's about 10 inches. I haven't tried loading my 16-inch MacBook Pro from the side yet. We will try that here in a second. I'd been loading it from the top. So that's one of a couple of the standard features. And then, of course, I forgot about the fact that the Synik comes with a frame sheet. It has a frame sheet here. I'm not going to take it all the way out. It seems to be a pretty frame sheet, I suppose. That is not something that you can get on the Synapse anymore. At least I don't think they've been selling them for a while. Last I checked. And even then, installing it, as Darcy has once said, it was kind of kludgy. It kind of hooked into these things here. That was kind of the cache loops here. That was kind of the best way they could do it. And it was always obnoxious to put it in there and put that in, and then it would bow forward anyway. So I think that this put in is much better. I haven't tried it without. As you can see, can't even seem to get it out. But I would probably feel just as comfortable holding it. I'm not a frame sheet person. I usually can't tell the difference. So on to the main attraction, which, isn't that red lovely? That is just a lovely red. So this is kind of the main feature of the Synik, the luggage tie-down straps, the fact that it opens all the way up, the integrated laptop compartment, the frame sheet built in, and the edgeless straps, which of course the Synapse has the edgeless straps as well, but I think this is one of the bags that they really debuted on, if my memory serves me correctly. So this is kind of the main thing, and I have to say, in terms of space, it's spacious. It starts kind of thicker up here, as you can tell. Starts about, about 5.5 inches there, and then kind of tapers off all the way down to 2.5 to 3 inches, kind of like a MacBook Air does. And first things first, I'm going to just call it and say it like I see it. I don't use these, so I'm going to take these out. Actually, I usually just tighten them down because I like to leave the things in with the bag. I'm not a big user of these. So the Synik was designed originally for being more of a travel bag than the Synapse. I think that this size makes it a little more EDC. I do want to point out as well, we got cache loops over here, right there, and we've got that big cavernous main pocket, which most of the time I usually throw in my AirPods Max, just because I just want to keep them separate from everything else. So I have a couple of things that I can put in here. Somebody asked about could my middle schooler use this as a backpack? I think that this is a better backpack for a middle schooler than like a Synapse 25 where you can't open it up all the way. My middle schooler is actually not here right now, so I apologize. I can't actually fill it with stuff, fill it with things, but I think you could get about three full-size textbooks and like a pretty fat binder in here, but it's going to be a tight fit. And these middle schoolers, man, they're carrying too much anyways. Let me talk about the other main thing that I really like about this bag, because the Synapse, the Synik 22 is definitely too small for me. Let's actually get it out right here. Synik 22. I use this bag. I have used this bag. It's Black Halcyon and Solaris, which was an awesome combination, I have to say. And I have used this bag before with a cache with my 16-inch MacBook Pro. And I kind of just put it in there and ignore the main pocket or just use it for an iPad. But it's not ideal, right? You want that extra space. It's the main reason I don't normally use this bag, even though I love it. But this right here is the kind of the main reason I would use it is my 16-inch MacBook Pro. And as you can see, check that out. That's quite tight. Like that's pretty, like getting it in and out. I took this to, I went out of town the other day and just took this around as my kind of mess around bag or my EDC for that day. And this was really obnoxious to get it in and out of that as I was moving from coffee shop to lunch. It was really not ideal, but it does go all the way in, and it barely goes all the way in, but it will do. It's no secret that Tom Bihn has kind of designed around Macintosh and fitting Macintosh computers into these bags, and this is no different. Of course, you got the false bottom here, which is nice. So it's a tight fit. It's a little annoying to get in and out of the bag, but it is possible. Let's actually try to get it out of the side pocket, something that I had not tried yet. I didn't even want to bother. So let's do this, and then let's do this, and I think I can get it out of here if I force it. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm going to give up on that. If you have a 14-inch MacBook Pro, it's going to be no problem, but I think the 16-inch MacBook Pro renders this side pocket virtually unusable. Let's try one more time. I think it is possible, but and I doubt I damaged the bag, but I think we'll stop there. So that is certainly doable. So how else would I use this bag? So I actually do have a ton of caches, but I usually just don't bother because this is enough of a quote-unquote false bottom. And listen, my iPad just gets knocked around everywhere anyway, so I'm probably going to put it right there. I'm going to put this right in here. And this is probably going to go maybe in my front pocket or one of these side pockets. I do have some shirts in here, and if I did want to travel for just a couple of days, I think I could easily pull this off as a one bag. Let's put these to the side. So one of the first impressions I had of this bag that I posted in my Facebook group, which is linked in the description, was that I thought that the hardware that they used on this, the zipper hardware specifically, was the same as the ones on the old bag. And was definitely wrong about that. So one thing that I noticed right away was this zipper wasn't the Techonaut like kind of easy glide zipper. It's definitely the classic kind of like heavy duty, like takes a good force to pull. I mean, it's not a big deal, but once you use those Techonaut zippers, they just feel so much nicer. I can tell that these zippers though, these are different because that definitely takes more force. This takes much less. So I was happily wrong about that. It's a little minor detail, but sometimes the minor details, sometimes they matter. All right, comparing it to its big brother, the Synik 30, you can tell that this bag just looks so much beefier. And you put them on top, they look the same, but I don't know. For some reason, the word that comes to mind for the Synik 30 is that it's imposing. And I have carried this as an EDC before. It is not it's a little big for that. I like this kind of shape. It feels more like a Synapse, kind of more of that clamshell. It honestly is a Synapse 25. in its heart and soul, in my opinion. Like, this is very clearly like inspired by the Synapse with some additions by Nick. Of course, thank you, Nick, for making such a great bag. But it's so much beefier, and imposing again is the word. I do think that the Synik 26 is definitely a more casual kind of like, yes, I can use this as an EDC and be happy with it. I could use this too, but I tend to like less is more. I tend to like smaller. Smaller to me is better. Look at the inside of this thing. That's crazy. That's crazy compared to the Synik 26. I mean, it just looks so much longer. That's crazy. It's a lot of depth. Let's take a measurement, shall we? I'm just going to measure from the bottom of this to the top here, which is about 17 inches there. Definitely not an exact measurement. What are you going to do? 20 inches. So there's a 3-inch difference just kind of in the way the bags sit and lay. So you can see, fit this whole thing right in here. But if I tried, I could definitely zip this thing in here. Good opportunity, by the way, to kind of compare Solaris and Sunglow. You can definitely tell Solaris a lot brighter, even in this light. That this, well, I don't know that it's coming through on the camera, but on here it is definitely more of like a banana yellow, whereas this is definitely more of like a mustard yellow. Definitely a pretty color. Not a Solaris type of color, in my opinion, but not a big deal. Just kind of wanted to compare them. As far as pricing for this bag is concerned, this sits at $335, which is between the $330 of the Synik 22 and the $340 of the Synik 30. So in terms of cost, not too much different than what it originally debuted at, which I believe was around $300. So definitely, I think for somebody who wants the flexibility of using this as an EDC bag, but also wants some of the travel features, right? The edgeless straps, definitely comfortable. I've talked about them numerous times on this channel. The frame sheet, probably in this bag, definitely in the 30, when you've got it packed all the way out, and I have traveled with it packed all the way out. The 30 needs, I feel like it needs the frame sheet. Could really benefit from this. I bet you I could take this out and probably not notice a difference because I simply don't overpack my bags like I used to do. But I think if you did pack your bag quite substantially, I think that might, you might see some carrying improvement there. And then, of course, the main compartment opened all the way up with the clamshell so that you can easily access all of your things. In addition, of course, the luggage tie-down straps. So definitely, I think they've taken a Synik and they've kind of made it more normal-sized, I guess. The 22 just being on the, just too small a bag for me for most EDC and travel purposes, and the 30 simply too big for anything but travel. I just don't use it as an EDC. I have so many more bags that it would suit that. So totally am going to use this. First of all, I love the color. I'm enjoying X-Pack. It's definitely different. It's got a very, like I said, a very kind of crinkly hand, and you can see it bends very easily along the X patterns. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. Otherwise, I appreciate it, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.